I saw you stand up and go to the phone. Are we live?
Yes.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight is Thursday, May 12th, 2016. It is just 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. We are the Newmarket School Board. The school board met in a non-public session to discuss school security and a personnel matter. Tonight we started at 6 o'clock at Newmarket Junior Senior High School looking at some security materials that have been provided by members of the school staff. And so we adjourned ourselves and quickly rushed down the street. So we're a couple minutes late beginning. I'd invite everyone to rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a brief and brisk agenda. We met last week, and we expect to meet again a couple of times in the next couple of weeks. I would open it up to public comment if there are folks that would like to speak. Hearing and seeing none, because I know everybody in the audience and why they're here. We have a calendar that's with us, and Julia is here, and I'd invite her to offer up a report on how things are going to school, and then we'll go through the calendar.
All right, so there will be an early release tomorrow due to a teacher workshop. The science kneecaps are on the 17th and 18th for 8th and 11th grades. Talent night will be Saturday the 14th from 7 to 9 at the high school in the gymnasium. Voting for student government positions will be on Friday the 27th. Sports-wise, baseball is 7-3, and they had a game today at 4:30 against Moultonborough. And the softball is 4-6, and they also had a game today against Moultonborough, and both of those were home. Outdoor track, Morgan Young qualified automatic for the state meet. Eloise Davenport placed first in the 300 hurdles, and Vivian Chan placed second in the 200. And the anchor for the boys 4x400 made up a 100-meter difference.
Wow.
Yeah,
Who was that?
it was Nate Belanger.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous, and our coach was laughing the whole time because he told him before he started, "You're not going to make it," and he was like, yeah, he booked it. So their next meet is going to be Saturday the 14th at Newfound, and yeah. The annual blood drive that the National Honor Society puts on will be from 2 to 7 in the high school gym on the 13th, which is tomorrow, and you can sign up to donate at redcrossblood.com. The 8th grade science fair was last night, and I would like to congratulate all the winners. I don't have their names here with me, but I hear it went well. The high school spring concert will be the 19th at 7 o'clock. And Junior Grand March will be Friday the 20th at 5 p.m. at the high school. Elementary school-wise, we have the 5th grade Gundalow field trip is going to be Tuesday, May 17th. The play, which Ms. Lazarus mentioned last time, is going to be the 20th at 6:30 and Saturday the 21st at 2 p.m. Monday the 23rd, there will be a 5th grade field trip to Camp Lincoln, and the following day, the 24th, the 4th grade will be headed there. Wednesday, the 25th, the 2nd grade is going to hike Mount Agamenticus, and the elementary spring concert will be the 25th at 7 p.m. And side note for the high school, the National Honor Society is going to have their induction ceremony Tuesday, the 24th at 6 p.m. at the high school in the cafeteria.
Excellent. Tuesday. What's the chance I can get you to go back to the first 3 lines of your report? Some of that was a talent show. Is that this Saturday night, the 14th?
Yes,
What time?
at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Because all three of us,
And we've got an invite just going around from somebody at the junior senior high, or the junior high, I would say, inviting us all to attend the induction ceremony for Junior National Honor Society. That says 6:30. The calendar says 6. Anybody remember? I had 6
I
on
heard
my
6.
calendar.
I
I
had
had 6
6.
too.
I'll just change it on my phone.
So let's, before we, somebody could
Cover it
double
up?
check, yeah, just to make sure.
On the website?
I will double
I think
check
I have it
because
written
somebody
down.
somebody at home will tell me, so I'm sure we won't miss that. I want to make sure that I say out loud again, this board is not meeting on the 19th, the third Thursday. I believe that we're going to schedule ourselves a business meeting on Tuesday, the 17th at 6. We'll talk more about that shortly. Right now, we are scheduled for a meeting on Thursday, the 26th. And I am under the understanding that the top 10 seniors, graduating seniors, are going to join us that night. They plan to be here, so we plan to be here as well.
And so they do the top 10 luncheon, and I will tell everybody on the board, if you can take the day off and go, it's so much fun. You get to hear where they're going to school, and it's fun. It's nice, it's about the kids, and it's nice to be around the kids.
Do we know when that's going to be at this point yet?
No.
Okay.
Other people might know, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else for our calendar? Perfect. Then the first item up for discussion tonight is actually the search for a principal for the junior senior high school. Pat, you want
Sure.
to help us with an update?
I will give you a brief update. As most people probably have seen somewhere on the website, the Principal Search Committee has met several times. We had 3 finalists. We've spent this week with various committee members going out to the candidate sites. So we've had 3 finalists. We've met again this afternoon after the school day here at Newmarket Junior Senior High School and even parts of elementary school. Met the 3 finalists. We had stakeholder groups of parents, students, administration, a real varied group of people. Met all 3 candidates. We had them fill out rating sheets. The committee met, and the candidate will be looked at and discussed at the May 17th, 2016, at 6:00 p.m., where the board will address the finality of that candidate, because that's the best way to put it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
We can't talk?
Oh, no, we can.
We can talk.
Elizabeth can't. Well, she couldn't until about now.
Okay.
You didn't want to listen to me.
That's great. So we have talked about you completing that process, and that's why we're going to schedule ourselves
That's
a
why you're
meeting.
scheduling a very brief meeting on the
Brief meeting on the
17th.
17th at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
And will we televise that?
Chris just walked away, and so.
We didn't ask.
We didn't ask him if he's going to be available and if we can televise, and I don't know what the competition might be for this room, 6 o'clock on a Tuesday night, but if we are able to be here for that brief meeting on the 24th, we will be right here, and if we are not, I'm sure we will be.
17th, 24th.
On the 17th, sorry, 17th.
We are gonna be
17th at
somewhere
6
on the
PM.
24th.
If we can be at 6 o'clock, we'll be right here, and if not, we'll be elsewhere in this building, and it will be a public session, so. Anything else about the update? I can't tell you enough how much we appreciate the work that's been done, because I know this has been quite a process, and
Nate, I just want to say, serving on the committee, it's been a pleasure working with Pat under her leadership and direction in this process. So I appreciate all the hard work, Pat, that you've done. And I appreciate all the people that served on the committee and have diligently helped us make the best decision.
And made sacrifices. All of you have made, it really, you did a wonderful job. They were great candidates, and I was really pleased to be part of that process as well.
It's great.
And I want to thank all the parents that came today
Yep.
to ask questions. Thank you, everybody.
And thanks to the students who represented us so well in all parts of the process. That always gives me a lot of pride, and today did not disappoint. So thank them for being the bright stars that they are.
With all the searches that we've done, the one consistent thing has been how everybody just loves our kids and how polite they are. And
All 3 candidates spoke to how our students conducted themselves, whether passing in the hallway. One candidate remarked how quiet it was, and I'm thinking, quiet? I kind of tend to, because I'm shorter. But no, all 3 candidates were remarkable in terms of complimenting our students. They had student guides throughout the day, and they met with various student groups, and they were very complimentary about our students and how they behaved in school, how they behaved in the group process. It was really nice to spend the day like that.
anything else to add to our report? Meredith, we appreciate the incoming superintendent having participated and been a part of that, offering
Absolutely.
guidance, and
Yes,
appreciate her.
huge part of that.
This has been a long day. I saw Ingrid, her last name escapes me, but
Alberg.
Alberg. Ingrid was leaving the junior senior high as I was walking in
Yep.
for our non-public, and I smiled and I I said in one of those gratuitous ways, has it been quite a day? And she looked at me and had a very serious answer. It has been a very long day. I'm going home for dinner, she said, and I said, that's great. We really appreciate your participation and help, so, excellent. Moving right on then, our non-public meeting this earlier was in part all about security. And if Jason wants to come to the microphone, we'll make him work. But as he's walking up, I just have to say, Jason Carey is our technology operations chief, and he and the guys, he and Wayne Stevens, I'm sure, had something to do with it, and some of the other guys that were there with us tonight. But he took us into a room at the junior senior high school and gave us a live demonstration of the way security might work, looking at cameras and door monitoring and access. And unfortunately, because of the length of time that we had, we spent a very short amount of time in that playland of technology. It was outstanding, and I'm sure that you spent a lot more time prepping for it than we spent enjoying it and
Sure.
learning from it. And we really can't thank you enough for the work that's been done, because security is pretty essential. And tonight, I think you've got the board's ear, and we saw enough to be able to make some decisions. So I'll let you brief the public basically on what we're doing and where we're headed.
Sure. As most of you know, we went out to bid a few weeks back for video surveillance solution to add cameras in both of our schools. Those bid results came back. We go through a bid evaluation process. I work with the principals and Officer Stevens. We look at references, the product, obviously the cost. In this situation, our RFP was so specific. We got back, most of the solutions were identical, and it really did come down to cost and references. So making a decision was easier than some other bids we've gone out for. So I'm here tonight to make a recommendation on an integrator to award the bid and get permission to move forward. Our lowest bidder was the integrator that scored best, and that is IP Video out of Danville, New Hampshire. So a local company, smaller business, and that's who I'd like to seek approval to award the bid to.
So one of the things that Jason shared with us, and Wayne vouched for the same conversation. Chief Sear wasn't able to see her. I'm having a mind. All of a sudden, my head is somewhere else. I don't know. I'm sorry. The chief couldn't join us tonight, but said again, as he said in writing before, he and the SRO are in constant communication. Certainly are of one mind about the security in our buildings. So I think we have his support. It sounded like in choosing this vendor, we were going to find and take advantage of all the possible efficiencies and opportunities with regard to the cameras and the other alarms, maybe strobes and technologies that we're adding to the building, and the door access. We'll find all of those. So we're being as frugal as we can be, but maybe in a good way, because this vendor will maybe do better at that than individually.
Sure. I mean, just with the doors, it was a savings of about $6,000.
Excellent.
We were able to get 6 doors done. And then we'll see what happens with the panic buttons and strobe lights. I'm sure there'll be additional savings there as well.
So one of the things that's been plaguing us has been the conversation of money.
Right.
And I think that we've got some competing challenges here. We're concerned about our fund balance. We're concerned about the tax impact of a smaller fund balance. And one of the things that we've been talking about and have worked with our VA on is, what's our fund balance going to be? What creative ways can we approach this? And I know that in our conversations leading up to and including tonight, we talked a little bit about pulling some dollars from the Technology Trust Fund, maybe pulling from the Repair and Maintenance Trust Fund for the repair of some of the networking tools that support or are the infrastructure for this. We talked about using some dollars remaining in this year's budget and maybe even putting some into next year's budget. But it sounded like when we started that this camera piece might be as high as 194,000, I think was a number that we'd worked with. Now we're at 131. And so because there's going to be some benefit in awarding this and moving forward and starting to find these efficiencies and get on the calendar so this can get done this summer, what I would propose based upon our discussion in our non-public is that we go ahead and approve awarding this bid, and then over the course of the next month, we figure out how much of this is going to be charged against those different sources, so that when we put the POs together, we can charge the appropriate lines in appropriate areas and take whatever actions the board needs to before June 30th to deal with the funding.
I mean, as a novice, and understanding all the different accounts, it would be helpful once we do that, because I believe this is of the utmost importance, is to have Christine and Jason work together to help us make the most effective use of the funds.
Bingo.
And get things done as quickly as possible.
So that sounded almost like a motion to go ahead and make that happen.
I'll second it.
Okay. So, sounds to me like what I just heard the board reaching was, you have approval from the board previously to go ahead and do the smaller elements of our project for security purposes, which total $28,100, and you're gonna connect these two projects. Now you have a project worth somewhere around 131,000 change.
Yep.
You have approval to go ahead and award that and move forward. We've talked about splitting that up, but I think we've talked also about the fact that phasing it over the course of 2 years or anything more than that is only going to dramatically increase the cost because of the mobilization costs and because of the way that the technologies will play out over time in terms of what the phase can do or will do. And we won't come anywhere close to reaching the security needs that the chief was looking for us to chase. So we're agreed to go ahead and move on this, and if you guys can work together and let us know about how we're going to fund that, we'll take action as we need to in the next couple of meetings. I have a motion from Ms. Shelton, a second from Ms. McKinney. Any more discussion?
No, just out of interest,
Yeah.
Jason, how long do you think the process takes to?
I can ask that question, but I'm sure it will be weeks. Originally, we had
Summer?
asked, yep, it would be a June, July project.
Yep.
Originally, we had asked to have the project installed, ready to go for July 30th. So, but I could get you an answer on the exact timeline.
Thank you again for the work that you put in on this,
Yes,
and Officer Stevens, to get us the information and the best and most economical
My pleasure.
deal.
Any more discussion? On a motion from Ms. Shelton, a second from Ms. McKinney, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Then we're unanimous.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you again for all the work you did setting that up. The research has been done now for the better part of 3 or 4 months, which is say nothing about the 6 months before that you were actually working on this as well.
Sure.
Thank you.
It's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We met a week ago, but are there any updates on the continuing items of facilities?
Briefly, we should have some dates, hopefully. I know, Pat, you've been busy this week, but we're getting close to 4 dates for public input sessions, public drop-in sessions for the discussion on the ed specs, and generally towards the end of this month and in early June. But we'll get those out. We'll get those published shortly. We just got to firm up one. We don't want to make sure we're not conflicting with anything else in town, so.
And what do you want people to know about these meetings? Like, what are they going to, we're gonna talk about ed specs, and what,
Yep.
and you're just gonna get into more detail, if anybody has any questions about them?
Yeah, I mean, it's open-ended. I mean, what we'll do is we'll have the principals there, at least. We'll have facility committee members, and we'll have school board members there as well. And, it's just, we've reached a point now where I say we, the school board and the facilities committee and the architect have, probably reached an end point in terms of our analysis of those ed specs. It's time to hear from the public. There are some items in there that, people may have different feelings on. So it's an opportunity for people to come and ask questions. You really ask a question about anything, but, I mean, we'd kind of like to focus it on that. These won't be the only public sessions we have with regard to facilities. Once we work with Ingrid Moore and develop schematic designs, there'll be another whole phase of public input at that point. So, but chiefly ed specs this time around. Yeah.
Excellent.
Not a lot with communications. With the proximity of the 2 meetings, I decided to consolidate into next week, and there's been a few things going on this week. So next week there will be another edition of the newsletter. Regarding the joint council school board meeting, there was a question about a date that's not going to be used for facilities committee, as well as the induction ceremony. Is there any possibility that we could meet on the 31st with the town council?
June 31st?
May.
May.
I was, could make it, was there anything else, Mike, that night?
No, it's just on the heels of the long weekend. Make sure people, I'm fine with it.
Elizabeth, can you?
I'm good.
Okay. I was asked this week to bring that date to you all, so I'm doing it, and I will return to the committee and let you know if that's going to be the date. If it is, we will have another meeting of the subcommittee before that time to firm up the agenda, and then we will proceed with the meeting on the 31st.
Great.
That's it.
Any chance that you'll, yeah, it doesn't matter. If there's a chance you'll meet before the 26th, it would be great. Update the board at our meeting on the 26th. with that agenda.
We most likely will. That's the goal. That's the goal.
Okay.
And with the 2 weeks, we should be able to.
Probably a 7 o'clock meeting?
Probably. But I'll keep you guys updated.
That's outstanding. In our packet tonight, there was a nomination. Pat, are you involved in that?
Yes. The nomination is for Heather Harvey. She will be taking up chemistry next year to replace Mr. Jim Fabiano, who is retiring after a somewhat long career here in Newmarket. She currently actually is filling in as a sub in Janice Murray's sixth grade classroom, so we're getting to see her teach every day. She's very exciting to watch. The resignation is from Catherine Freeman. She is currently the school psychologist. If you look at her letter, she was very sad about leaving us. We're sad to see her go, but her husband got an outstanding opportunity to work overseas, and she was very excited to get this opportunity to go abroad with her young family and spend this time for, I believe it's a 2-year process. She'll be sorely missed. She's very good at what she does. And I know that our special ed director, Ms. Parsons, was really sad to see her go. So we will miss her, but I wish her well on her journey. She is very happy about that piece as well.
Hearing that, then I need a motion to accept the nomination of Heather Harvey.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, I have a motion from Ms. McKinney, a second from Mr. Kennison. All those in favor of the nomination of Heather Harvey as chemistry teacher, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Then we're unanimous. I need a motion to accept the resignation of Catherine Freeman, our school psychologist.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I have a motion from Ms. Shelton, a second from Ms. McKinney, to accept the resignation of Catherine Freeman, school psychologist. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Then we're unanimous. How are you feeling? Are you better? I'm better, yes. So the minutes didn't make the packet. We didn't get a chance to review them. I told Penny not to sweat that we would have them in our next packet. We're meeting enough this month that we catch up to that. So we'll table the approval of the May 5th minutes. There was a single manifest that I saw going around. Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I move that we approve the total accounts payable manifest in the amount of $167,407.96.
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Shelton, a second from Mr. Kennison. All those in favor of the manifest as presented, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And we're unanimous. We had a non-public earlier. There's no need for us to try it again. Is there any other business that should be before us? So we're looking at a business meeting on the 17th at 6, hopefully here. We'll find out about that. We will not be meeting on the 19th, as is our custom, as a third Thursday, but we will be back here at 7 o'clock on Thursday, the 26th. And among other things we'll deal with that night will be the top 10 graduating seniors will join us. That meeting on the 17th, by the way, is for us to contemplate a nomination of the principal for the junior senior high school. I seek a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Ms. McKinney, a second from Mr. Kennison. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. And I'd also like to say happy birthday to Kim Shelton.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so true!
35.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you very much.